Good day, B and CHS Grade 8 learners. This is Arwin D. Tabangay, and welcome to the very first episode of Hashtag I Am Best in the New Normal, B and CHS English Subject Tutorials in the New Normal. For today's pilot episode, we will be discussing how are we going to find meanings to new or unfamiliar terms whenever we are reading our favorite book or just scrolling on our social media newsfeed. For example, when we are scrolling on our Facebook feed and we see this post. So the unfamiliar term here is the word pseudonyms. It is undeniable that the term is not in everyone's vocabulary. So what are you going to do then to know its meaning? If we are going to consult Mr. Google will give us several. To name some, we could use the dictionary, the encyclopedia, or the internet itself. However, what if dictionary, encyclopedia, and the internet is not available? What are you going to do then to find its meaning? Are you just going to ignore and just continue scrolling? Or you're going to find other ways on how to do it? If these are not available, we could use the sentence itself to know its meaning. How are we going to do that then? Let's take a look again on this example or on this post. As a writer, Dr. Rizal used several pseudonyms so as not to reveal his real identity. So let's underline the unfamiliar term, which is pseudonyms. If we take a deeper look at the sentence, we could see clues and the meaning of the term. Let's encircle the word writer and connect it to the phrase so as not to reveal his real identity. As observed, not all writers or authors use their real names on their masterpieces. From this, we could now determine that pseudonyms means pen names or alias. Just like Dr. Jose Rizal, he used the pen names Laong Laan and Dima Salang. This technique of using the sentence to identify the definition of the unfamiliar term is called context clues. So what are context clues? So context clues are words that appear in sentences to help understand the meanings of difficult words. Context clues are hints found within a sentence, paragraph, or passage that you could use to understand the meanings of new or unfamiliar words. And context clues provide further information about a word or phrase that helps readers understand its meaning. There are different types of context clues. In your modules, there are 9. So let's have the first one. We have the definition. In here, the unfamiliar word is directly defined in a sentence. The definition of the unfamiliar term is presented or written already inside the sentence. So you don't need to hassle yourself in finding its meaning. Let's have an example. A treasure hunter is a person who searches for treasures from sunken ships and ancient tombs to obtain valuable relics or artifacts. Let's box the unfamiliar term, which is treasure hunter. As I have mentioned, its meaning is directly defined already. So what is a treasure hunter? A treasure hunter, he is a person who searches for treasures. Easy, right? Let's have the other one. Etymology, which is the study of the origin of words. What is etymology? It is the study of the origin of words. As easy as that is our first context clue type. Let's have the second type of context clue, which is by the use of synonym. A similar word is placed in the same sentence to know the meaning of the unfamiliar word. When an author uses this type of clue, he or she will say something twice, once with a difficult word and then again in a simpler way. Let's have this example. It is common for Filipinos to feel compassion or pity for the suffering of their fellow men. So the unfamiliar term here is the word compassion. If we are going to take a look at the sentence, there is the word or to hint that these two words have the same meaning. Thus, compassion could mean pity, kindness, or care to others. Let's have another one. It was an idyllic day, sunny, warm, and perfect for a walk in the park. So the unfamiliar term here is the word idyllic. The sentence used dash or hyphen to indicate that the words after the unfamiliar term have the same meaning. So, idyllic means sunny, warm, perfect, or better yet, it's peaceful and calm. Let's have the third type of context clue. We have by the use of antonyms. An opposite word is placed in the same sentence. This is the opposite of our previous one. If you point out differences, you can come to understand each component better. Let's have this example. Among the siblings of thin body structure, Isabel is the only one who is portly. The unfamiliar term is the word portly. Let's analyze the sentence. It tells us that all the siblings are thin except Isabel. Again, except, which means Isabel is an opposite or an exemption. Thus, we could now identify the meaning of the unfamiliar term. Portly means fat or plump. Let's have another one. The feral cat could not let us pet him, unlike our friendly cat. The unfamiliar term here is the word feral. The term unlike signifies opposition. So, feral cat is opposite to friendly cat. Thus, feral could mean wild or savage. That's our third context clue type, which is by the use of antonyms. Next context clue type is by the use of comparison. In here, a similar word with the same meaning of the unfamiliar word is placed with an object to be compared. In simpler term, the unfamiliar word is shown to be the same or like another one. It uses the words to, like, likewise, or similar to. Let's have this example. The stench of the garbage was like the smell of the rotten fish. So the unfamiliar term here is the word stench. Let's analyze the sentence. The stench of the garbage is being compared to the smell of the rotten fish. So, what is the smell of a rotten fish? It smells bad, correct? Thus, we could now conclude that stench means stinky or disgusting odor. Let's have the second one. Darren is fascinated to the stars, similar to the way I am amazed with his singing. The unfamiliar term here is the word fascinated. Darren's fascination to the stars is compared to my amazement of his singing. So, from this comparison, the term could be defined as charmed or captivated. So that's our context clue type by the use of comparison. The next context clue type is by the use of examples. In here, samples are provided in a sentence to understand the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Words like including, such as, and for example, point out example clues. Let's have this as an example. In ancient times, some of our forefathers believed in amulets, such as pearl of the crocodile, pearl of the axe, bullet necklace, and a bag of herbs to protect them from harm. So the unfamiliar term here is the word amulets. The sentence provided examples of amulets by the use of the word such as. We have pearl of the crocodile, pearl of the axe, bullet necklace, and a bag of herbs as an example of amulets. From our background knowledge, these things are called anting-anting. Thus, we could now conclude that the term means charms that have magic to them that protect the wearer or its possessor. That's our first example. Let's have the second one. Celestial bodies, including the sun, moon, and stars, have fascinated man through the centuries. So the unfamiliar term here is the word celestial. So the sentence provided examples of celestial bodies such as sun, moon, and stars. So from these examples of celestial bodies, we could now conclude that these are objects that are those in the sky or in the heavens. That's our fifth context clue type, which is through the use of examples. Our next context clue type is by explanation. A description is given to understand the meaning of the unfamiliar word. The writer provides explanation of the unfamiliar word through the use of commas, parentheses, or a direct explanation of the word. Let's have this as an example. Matthew had few infractions of the house rules that he should have done as a part of his responsibilities. The unfamiliar term here is the word infractions. Let's analyze the sentence by using the phrase house rules that he should have done. So for this explanation, the sentence means Matthew did not follow some of the house rules as part of his responsibilities. Thus, we could now conclude that infractions means violations. Matthew had few violations of the house rules. Let's have another one. Diane was lethargic. She didn't have the energy to get out of bed. The unfamiliar term here is the word lethargic. The explanation given here is didn't have the energy to get out of bed. So, if Diane did not have the energy to get out of bed, meaning to say she is lazy to get up. Thus, lethargic means lazy or idle. That's our context clue type, which is by the use of explanation. The next context clue type is by the use of cause-effect. The meaning of the difficult word depends on the cause-effect relationship of the words as expressed in the sentence. The author explains the reason for or the result of. Words like because, since, therefore, thus, and so may signal context clues. Let's have these as an example. Since only a few followed the wearing of face masks, it was made mandatory by the government. The unfamiliar term here is the word mandatory. The sentence uses the word since to indicate the cause, which is only a few followed the wearing of face masks. As an effect, the government made it mandatory. From this cause-effect relationship, then, mandatory means people are required or demanded to wear face masks. So let's have the second one. She wanted to impress all her dinner guests with the food she served. So she carefully studied the necessary culinary arts. The unfamiliar term here is the word culinary. The cause here is that she wanted to impress all her dinner guests. So, as an effect, she carefully studied the necessary culinary arts. From this relationship, then, culinary is anything related to kitchen or food preparation. Again, culinary means anything that is related to the kitchen or in food preparation or food in general. That's our context clue type, which is by the use of cause effect. Down to our eighth context clue type, which is by list or series of clues. To understand the meaning of the unknown word, it is included in a series of words that gives a hint or an idea of the meaning of word. Let's have this as an example. After the program, the rubbish left were souvenir programs, flyers, leaflets, plastic bottles, and food wrappings. The unfamiliar term here is the word rubbish. The sentence provided a list or series of rubbish. We have souvenir programs, flyers, leaflets, plastic bottles, and food wrappings. From this list, then, we could conclude that rubbish has something to do with trash or garbage. Let's have a scenario. If you attend a program, what can you see after inside the venue? Trash, correct? That's how listing works. Now, we are on the last context clue type, which is by the use of inference. To understand the meaning of an unknown word, one has to make a guess based on the description given in the sentence. Sufficient clues might be available for the careful reader to make an educated guess at the meaning. In the world of science, educated guess is hypothesis. Let's have this one as an example. When one shows belligerence, harsh words, disruptive actions, and offensive behaviors can be observed. So the unfamiliar term here is the word belligerence. So from this term here, it is described as harsh words, disruptive actions, and offensive behaviors. From these descriptions, we could infer that belligerence means aggression or violence. We can make a guess of the meaning of the word through the guidance of the words that surround the unfamiliar term. So that's a wrap of our discussion on the different types of context clues. Let's have a recap. So the different types of context clues are definition, synonym, antonym, comparison, example, explanation, cause effect, list or series of clues, and lastly, inference. So that's the end of our first episode, Grade 8. Remember, if you met an unfamiliar term when you are reading or just doing social media, but dictionary, encyclopedia, and the internet are not available, choose the right context clue type and unlock the definition yourself. And that would be fun and fulfilling. So thank you, our dear learners. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and give this video a big thumbs up. Once again, this is Arwin Dita Bangay, and you've just watched the very first episode of I Am Best in This New Normal, BNCHS English Subject Tutorials in the New Normal. This is it for now. Till next time, good day.